The sting of defeat hits our main protagonist hard as he comes up short against Haryu within his game of badminton. However, after a supportive interaction with Chinatsu, Taiki ends this chapter in very high spirits. Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime Delia, and today we'll be talking all things chapter 7 from the Blue Box manga series. A great chapter that clears up one mystery within the series that we've had so far, while also showcasing that supportive connection that Taiki and Chinatsu share together. I really did love the moments between Taiki and Chinatsu within this chapter, because it shows a lot of similarities and hints at possible affection from Chinatsu towards Taiki. The chapter tells us, the audience, that much like Taiki watches Chinatsu during her basketball practices, Chinatsu also watches and remembers the stuff that Taiki does and says on and off court. So I think this is quite telling in how the relationship and connection of these two characters can move forward as we go chapter by chapter. Does this mean or hint at some possible signs of affection towards Taiki from our best girl Chinatsu? Especially if you consider the fact that Taiki himself also does the same thing, and he holds Chinatsu in very high regards and has feelings for her. Of course, the two share a mutual understanding and sign of respect towards each other, but although Taiki wants more than just friendship and respect, could Chinatsu as well? Because we can't forget about that line within this chapter, that line that closes the chapter in fact. Chinatsu states, "So that's how it looks to him." Has she been trying to show signals or signs of love towards him, but she's failed to do so? Or actually, she's succeeded, but Taiki has been too oblivious to actually see those signals? Interesting. Personally, the way I viewed that line when I first read it was that Chinatsu thought that she had remained girly despite her passion for basketball. And this comment from Taiki is making her question herself and the way that she presents herself to the public eye, as it does appear a bit different as to what she believes she perceives or presents herself to be. But no, looking back at it and looking back at chapter 6, there may even be more signs and hints at Chinatsu having a bit of a daydream about Taiki during his match with Haryu in that 2-set game. Now, by that I mean if we go back and look at chapter 6, Chinatsu is clearly intensely staring at Taiki. I say this because within that chapter, look at these panels right here. Now, during this time where Chinatsu is staring at Taiki and watching that match, mesmerised by his performance and probably entranced by Taiki himself and the hard work and dedication that he's put in, which she has seen throughout his practicing, and she can finally see it being put to good use. She's actually meant to be practicing basketball herself in this regard. We can tell this by one of her teammates calling her over. So she's in the middle of practice while being lost in the amazement that is going on between Taiki and Haryu having a match together. So yes, we know that Chinatsu is passionate. We know that she is driven and dedicated within her craft of basketball. So it takes a lot for her to get distracted and lose her focus. So could her daydreaming of romantic thoughts and feelings for Taiki be the thing that is distracting her in these panels? Plus, when she is talking to Haryu with a couple of other people and Taiki and his friend enters the room, her stare goes from looking at the person that's talking to staring directly at Taiki. I don't know, it does have a lot of hints here, but maybe it's a bit too obvious at this moment in time. Now, one worry that I do have is if, for example, we stick with the idea of Chinatsu staying that line, and it actually means that she thought she was presenting herself as being a bit girly, or she is actually trying to get Taiki to see her and notice her in a particular way. This could lead to Chinatsu wearing some more flashier outfits, or changing her personality slightly, And if that does happen, I personally wouldn't really like it because I like the way they've shown Chanatsu so far. Yes, she does need development. Yes, she does need progress. But at the same time, I think her acting differently and less organic would be a bad thing for the character. But it could also be a learning experience for her, which then of course develops the character further. So, you know what? We'll see how it goes. Now, one last point on Chanatsu's character. Her wanting to play badminton with Taiki after his defeat, I thought was super wholesome and proves the fact that she does take interest within Taiki's hobbies. Plus, her attempt at serving was just really funny and super duper adorable and sweet. So for that, I have to say thank you because that panel was golden. So then let's switch over and talk about Taiki. As his competitive nature coming through I thought was quite cool to see. And yes, losing in any capacity does suck. But you can always learn things within your defeat. And of course this is what Chanatsu was trying to help Taiki see through his frustration and anger and disappointment within himself. But after this conversation with Chanatsu, Taiki's flame for victory within his heart shines and burns brighter than ever. It's been reignited. And I love the fact that it was Chanatsu that got through to Taiki within the end and helped him see value within his current skills and hard work and dedication that he's poured in to his game and craft. After all, his other friends could not help him and could not help Taiki see the value within himself. It took his crush to do that for him. Which this again also kind of relates back and connects to the fact that these two characters, Taiki and Chanatsu, they're always going to be supporting each other. They're always going to be there for each other and help each other move forward no matter what. We saw that within Taiki's match against Haryu in the last chapter, where he was kind of falling behind quite a bit. And he looked down to tie up his shoelace, and the ankle bracelet that Chanatsu gave him was on there, and it inspired him to do better. Taiki within this chapter came across as really relatable, in fact, seeing his inner struggles and dealing with his frustration for his lack of skill. Although I wouldn't say skill is his problem at the moment, because he does actually train 10 times as hard as anybody else when someone points out there's something wrong with what he's doing. So skill isn't actually the problem. I think the problem lies more in his self-confidence and experience. However, saying that, with more experience comes more self-confidence. Just look at the second half set against Haryu. He manages to score 11 points before Haryu can close the game with 10 more points and seal his own victory. It's clear that the more Taiki plays against an opponent, the better adapt and better equipped and better experience that Taiki gains from facing said opponent. And of course it means that he kind of gets better as time goes on. This is great because it shows progression and shows development, and something I can actually get behind because it shows that he's not going to be a powerhouse straight from the word go. He's going to need to go through some struggles. He's going to need to lose quite a few times, but within every defeat comes something valuable that you can take away and build upon for the next match. And it's exactly the lesson that is trying to be taught here towards his character. And I do genuinely want to see Taiki progress and move forward and see more matches from him within the future as he goes up against a lot more different opponents. Opponents that would offer him a different type of match. That means he has to develop and evolve his strategy and his playstyle. Because I think we could see some very unique and creative ideas coming from this perspective. But, of course, we need to look at Haryu. Haryu is frustrated as well, although he was a victor within this match that happened in the last chapter. But what is he going to ask Taiki when he finally catches up with him? I wonder. If you have any ideas, let me know in the comments down below. Overall, I thought this chapter was great, and the vibes it gave off were a mixture of feelings, as sometimes it was serious with the things that Taiki was struggling through and trying to overcome. Other times it felt wholesome and sweet, with Chanatsu trying to help him and up his spirits by playing a little game of badminton despite her having next to no skill within the sport. the comedy was actually less than normal. However, I think that just goes to show just how well this series is written, as the comedy involved, although small, was very funny and fantastic to see, but at the same time, it doesn't rely on comedy as its main aspect, which I did like that, because it shows that the seriousness and the more serious, darker, not darker, but serious tones within the kind of feelings and emotions that are being presented are, easily conveyed and well presented. There are a lot of positives from this chapter that I can go on and talk about, but I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of it, because one thing I didn't mention, the art style. The art style was fantastic as always, each and every panel delivered with beautiful drawings and artwork. And that colour page looks adorable. Let's get more of that moving forward. But yes, your opinions, I want to see them, I want to hear them. Let me know in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed this review. If you have, hit that like button, and of course subscribe for more Blue Box content from myself as well as other manga reviews. But until next time, have a great day, alligator matane, goodbye.